second lesson of your action-based recovery program. In the first lesson, you learn behavioral strategies to help you manage your recovery as effectively as possible. In this lesson, you'll learn strategies to help you manage your thoughts, emotions, and attitudes during your recovery as effectively as possible. Every person on this earth has their unique, individual array of emotions that reveal themselves in the form of distinct attitudes. How you manage your emotions contributes to your overall mood and perspective of life. The consistency and degree to which you manage your emotions will affect your experiences during recovery, and this in turn can help you to have ongoing consistency and peace of mind during your recovery. Your attitudes are learned, and sometimes you may express them without awareness and as a reaction to something that is said or done. This explains why it will be helpful for you to identify your attitudes. Once you are aware of how you are expressing your emotions, you will be in a better position to change them. Although this may seem challenging, the information in this program is going to give you the tools that will help you adjust your attitude so you can lead a much more fulfilling and peaceful life. Peace of mind will contribute to your having happiness, flourishing relationships, and enhanced performance in your career. I will describe strategies that can help you to improve your attitude, and I will explain what is meant by counterproductive and affirmative attitudes so you can have a clear understanding and know how to recognize them. The 7 steps in this program have been proven to be effective within every single age group, regardless of anyone's current situation or attitude. That is because they are versatile, and the tips that you will learn can be used by anyone in any situation. If you are open to change and want to have an affirmative attitude, this program will be helpful to you. Let us get started by developing an understanding of the different aspects of a counterproductive attitude. We're going to start by defining what is meant by the term counterproductive attitude, because understanding and knowing how to manage it can contribute to you having ongoing consistency during your recovery, as well as peace of mind and accompanying happiness. A counterproductive attitude can be presented in a variety of ways, so it can be difficult to recognize. Focusing your awareness on your thoughts and what others say will help you to notice them. The nature of your attitudes has an impact on your well-being, and it also affects others because your energy can be felt by them. Maintaining your awareness while communicating with others will help you to manage counterproductive attitudes when they occur. It is important to realize that having a counterproductive attitude for a prolonged period can affect your overall well-being and sabotage your recovery efforts. Your brain was designed to help you through tough situations, which is why emotions show up so rapidly and why you may react, allow your emotions to control you, rather than respond. Use your mind to manage your emotions almost instantly in certain situations. When you sense a real threat to your safety or well-being, your brain activates the fight or flight response and prepares your body to take action that is supposed to keep you safe. When you have a counterproductive attitude, it is usually accompanied by counterproductive thoughts, and the part of your brain that controls the fight or flight response is activated. So rather than responding to a real threat, those counterproductive thoughts trick the brain into reacting as if there really is imminent danger. This may result in experiencing all the mental and physical symptoms of anxiety without any reason for them. If you tend to have a counterproductive attitude, you might also have experienced a depressed state of mind, disinterest in attending social events, fragmented relationships with those closest to you, and an ever-present worry that can be incredibly debilitating. Other common physical side effects include palpitations, difficulty breathing, hot sweats, dizziness, muscle tension, rapid heartbeat, and nausea. If this is your usual experience, it has the potential to impact your physical health as well as your emotional health long term. Many people who have a counterproductive attitude believe it is necessary for their survival and well-being because they have had thoughts like, if I expect the worst, I will never be disappointed. If I worry endlessly, I will always be safe. If I analyze the situation again and again and again, I will be able to solve the problem. A counterproductive attitude usually has the opposite effect. When you constantly fret about and expect the worst to happen as you are in recovery, the accompanying anxiety can easily cloud your judgment and thinking. Your counterproductive attitude makes it harder to problem solve, creates imaginary scenarios that are not real, and may affect your ongoing recovery. Your counterproductive brain. Thinking the same way over a long period creates brain pathways that support your thoughts. Here are the parts of your brain that are affected by your thoughts and feelings. Amygdala. A significant catalyst behind counterproductive attitudes is your past. It is important not to let the past define you. The part of your brain called the amygdala stores past experiences. That same part is responsible for triggering the fight or flight response. That means your prior counterproductive experiences can cause your body to overreact to minor stress and instigate the fight or flight response. Thalamus. Your thalamus works alongside the amygdala because it is this part of the brain that delivers sensory and motor signals around the body. The thalamus does not distinguish between counterproductive thoughts and real danger. Cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone, elevated cortisol levels are the reason why counterproductive attitudes can persist over time. Cortisol can manufacture changes within your brain, and those changes increase the risk of developing long-lasting mental health challenges such as generalized anxiety disorder, depression, OCD, ADHD, and schizophrenia. So now you have a better understanding of the importance of managing your counterproductive attitudes because eventually they could lead to more serious problems. But there is good news. Thanks to groundbreaking work in the field of neuroscience, we now know the past belief that our brains were fixed and unchangeable once we entered into adulthood is not true. Research proves the plasticity of our brains which means that your brain health can improve as you change your thinking and your attitude. The damage of counterproductive attitudes and thoughts. Though all of us have counterproductive thoughts occasionally, consistently doing so means living a limited life due to fear and worry. There are some ways that a counterproductive attitude can severely hinder your recovery efforts, which I will now explain. Fear of failure. There is no denying that nearly everyone has a fear of failure. It is important to recognize that there is a fine line between using the fear of failure as motivation to work harder and allowing it to keep you from moving out of your comfort zone. If you have allowed this to happen, it could explain why you may sometimes struggle during recovery and not progress in life because it prevented you from moving towards your goals. Pessimism. We all know a person that is the typical half glass empty type of individual. We also know how exhausting it is to be in their company. Pessimism is always drawing on the downside of things rather than searching for the opportunities. Many pessimistic people automatically pick out the one thing they do not want, even if there is an abundance of what they want surrounding it. Blaming others. It is much easier to blame others for the circumstances in your life rather than taking responsibility for what you want. People throughout your life could very well have said or done things that resulted in your feeling pain and distress. But it is important that you remember you can manage any situation by responding, that is, managing your attitudes and emotions, rather than reacting, that is, letting your attitudes and emotions run you. Assuming the worst. Worrying about unwanted things that could potentially happen is not unusual. For some people, it becomes an obsession. They are always conjuring up worst-case scenarios and wondering, what if a catastrophe strikes? Or, what if I relapse? This thinking can cause a substantial amount of distress. It is impossible to predict the future, and you cannot always know what is going to happen. When thinking this way, it can be useful to remember that some of the worst-case scenarios you ever imagined did not materialize. Self-doubt. No one is confident all the time. You have probably second-guessed yourself in the past and needed some reassurance. This is part of being human. Self-doubt becomes counterproductive when you're always telling yourself you cannot do something, you are not good enough, and you will never achieve your goals. Repeatedly having those thoughts will lead to discouragement and unhappiness because those assumptions could prevent you from testing yourself and finding out what is truly possible. The affirmative attitude. You may be wondering why I focused on counterproductive attitudes first. As you are now probably aware, counterproductive attitudes can send you to rock bottom and keep you there. I wanted to show you how that attitude can do more harm than just frustrating you on a regular basis. And I hope this initial focus encourages you to take the powerful action required to commit to adopting an affirmative attitude. Now I'm going to show you why taking that action is worth the effort. An affirmative attitude can be the difference between you having regrets later in life or looking back to see the goals you have accomplished. To help you understand this better, answer the following questions. Would you rather be the person who never took risks due to an immense fear of failure? Or would you rather be the person who did not get what you wanted a few times, but who eventually achieved your biggest goals? Would you rather be the person who needlessly complained because all you saw was roadblocks? Or would you rather be the person who smiled at the opportunities in every situation? Would you rather be the person who wasted time blaming others for your hardship? Or would you rather be the person who claimed responsibility, moved on, and found true happiness? I'm guessing you would choose the latter answer for every question. Therefore, it makes sense to try your best to gain an affirmative attitude right now, rather than realizing the benefits when it may be too late to experience them. An affirmative attitude will enhance your life in ways that you might not ever imagine because it does not just affect you. When you possess optimism, drive, resilience, and all the other factors related to having affirmative thoughts, you will become happier with yourself, and others around you will tap into that energy. An affirmative attitude has double power. Becoming happier is magnificent, and your happiness can contribute to the happiness of your loved ones. All you need to do is make some minor changes. There is a common misconception that affirmative people are a particular breed and somehow always make the right choices when it comes to managing their emotions. The truth is, counterproductive attitudes form when a person consistently gives in to the thoughts that help to create them. A positive attitude occurs when a person makes a conscious effort to replace counterproductive thoughts with affirmative ones in situations she experiences while focusing on being aware with consistent effort. Affirmative attitude and your health. We mentioned the way a counterproductive attitude can affect your health and outlook on life. So now, let us look at the ways an affirmative attitude specifically benefits your physical health. Less distress. The most obvious benefit of having an affirmative attitude is a reduction of distress and lower levels of cortisol running through your body. Less distress in your life is a much bigger deal than you may realize. You will have a lot more energy, get better sleep, smile a lot more, and be a lot stronger mentally. In addition, less stress will allow you to perform to a much higher standard because your mind will be able to see things more clearly. Stronger immune system. Even though an affirmative attitude is not a replacement for vitamin C, it can have similar effects. A countless number of studies have provided or proved that the body and mind have a very tight-knit connection, which is why counterproductive thoughts are often related to physical symptoms. An affirmative attitude helps to remove those physical symptoms, strengthens the immune system, and helps to decrease the number of potential illnesses you may experience. More happiness. Who does not want to be happy? I do not think you will find anyone who will tell you they love being distressed, depressed, or disinterested. Happiness comes from within, and having an affirmative attitude will allow you to see the brighter side of life. If you look at everything from an affirmative perspective, you are bound to feel happier more often. Benefits of an affirmative attitude. In case knowing the benefits of your physical health is not enough to motivate you to change the way you live, I have included ways you can think and behave that can also contribute to your life being easier and more enjoyable. Open-minded. Change is inevitable in life. As you grow older and encounter different situations, your life is bound to change. Having an affirmative attitude will help you to remain open-minded to those changes and be able to embrace them with open arms. As a result, you will be empowered to prosper and maintain strong performances in all that you do. Determined. Determination is an excellent trait to have because persevering towards your goals, regardless of setbacks and distress, contributes to your overall success and ongoing happiness. The key to being determined is figuring out what you want because aimless determination will not result in you accomplishing your goals. Kind. Affirmative people get along with others because they can form rewarding relationships and effective connections. The way they do this is by acting kind, using basic manners, and being approachable. Being kind can bring you a lot more happiness because being friendly will affect others. Resilient. People who have a counterproductive attitude tend to personalize what others say, become defensive and angry, and this explains why they moan, complain, and worry so much. Conversely, people who have an affirmative attitude possess a high level of resiliency, which helps them to manage criticism, overcome failure, and perform under pressure. Since difficult situations do happen during our lives, it is better to respond rather than react to minimize their effect. Understanding other points of view. Another aspect of having an affirmative attitude is understanding other points of view. This can help you avoid an awful lot of conflict, arguments, and broken relationships. Understanding other points of view does not require you to change your own beliefs. It just means not enforcing them aggressively. Listen carefully and respond in a way that has the least potential for causing unnecessary conflict. The 7-point attitude adjustment. I hope you are ready to manage any of your counterproductive attitudes and start increasing your affirmative attitudes. There is no better way to make the most out of your life than to have more affirmative thinking by managing your counterproductive attitudes and having the best recovery experience possible. To further assist you to maintain consistency in your recovery, I will now explain a strategy called the 7-point attitude adjustment. As you study it and put the ideas into practice, you and those around you will notice a huge change for the better. Making these changes can help you have less than usual challenges during your recovery, as well as peace of mind. Think affirmative thoughts. One way to develop a fulfilling life is to have affirmative thoughts. If your thoughts are usually counterproductive, you might initially find this to be challenging to maintain. As you continue to make a conscious effort to be aware of when you are having counterproductive thoughts, it will become more of a habit and easier to do over time. While making this change, it can be helpful to ask for the support of those around you. Although it is your responsibility to replace your counterproductive thoughts with affirmative ones, you can call on your loved ones and peers to help you make this change. For instance, if one of your counterproductive thoughts is to be pessimistic when you are attending a self-help group meeting, ask one of the people in attendance, maybe your sponsor, to speak with you. Another method you can use is always to remember what you have that you can be grateful for in life. When you celebrate all your blessings, you will gradually become more content in your everyday life. In addition, you will increasingly be able to appreciate what happens in your life as you are also improving your ability to recover from disappointments. When you find yourself having counterproductive emotions, feelings, and thoughts, you will be able to respond to them rather than react, and this will help to reduce the effect they have on you. As you are in the process of removing any counterproductive thoughts, focusing on all there is to be grateful for in your life can also be helpful. It is also important to remember that all things are created twice, once by your thoughts and then by your action that you take to create what you want. Also note that thinking of the potential for a positive outcome and believing that thought will contribute to it happening. As the Dalai Lama once stated, see the positive side, the potential, and make an effort. As you allow yourself to believe in the potential for an outcome you want, you will be able to identify the affirmative thoughts that go with it. For example, if you think you're going to relapse, replace that thought with a relapse prevention tool that has worked in the past. You will then be able to see that you can choose not to relapse. You have the freedom to choose to put your focus on counterproductive or affirmative thoughts. Your ability to manage your thoughts effectively will continue to grow over time as you consistently practice. Create your happiness. Too many people have the belief that the world owes them something. They do not realize this is not true. Wanting something and expecting someone to give it to you can be a disappointing and frustrating experience. When you put effort into getting what you want, you will have a better chance of it happening when you want it and without the usual frustration and disappointment. It is up to you to determine what makes you happy and to take action to make it happen. If visiting family whom you love makes you happy, do it. If walking with your dog around the park makes you happy, do it. If playing your favorite video game with your favorite music playing makes you happy, do it. If finishing an assignment your sponsor has given you makes you happy, finish it. Alternatively, it may be spending time with a particular person that makes you happy. Maybe it is seeing someone you care about smile when you give them an unexpected gift. Whatever it is that contributes to you being happy, you need to do those things. Consistently doing things that make you happy will increase your overall happiness. Another way to create your happiness is to balance your needs with other people's needs. People with counterproductive attitudes have the tendency to care too much about what other people think and mostly put others' needs first. They neglect the things that make them happy to do things that aid someone else's happiness. If you do this, it can result in you feeling depressed, angry, anxious, tired, and surrounded by people that do not truly care about you. Once you balance your needs with other people's needs, you can attract people who will consider you and who are content just with being in your presence. It is not fair, and you do not have to share your time with people that results in you sacrificing your well being to make them happy. You have as much of a right to be happy as anyone else. Taking care of yourself will help you to lead a more balanced life. Take naps when you want them, go for a massage when you want one, or watch a film on your own if that is what you want to do. You could even try new things like hiking up a mountain to enjoy nature or starting a new hobby. Boost your personal energy. Personal energy is something that you may neglect, and maybe you are not familiar with that idea. When you are feeling tired very often and or feeling like your performance levels have dipped, you might tend to think it is due to a physical ailment and or general stress. In addition, your attitude can become counterproductive when you are not feeling well. Your low energy levels and accompanying attitude can improve with a simple solution. Hydration is a large component of energy, and it is no secret that many people do not think the suggested amount of water, half your body weight in ounces, and more when you sweat on a regular basis. For some reason, people just do not follow that guideline of the amount of water to drink on a reasonably consistent basis. Drinking the suggested amount of water daily could help to maintain and or boost your energy and mood. To help monitor the amount of water you drink during the day, use a water bottle that holds a measured amount of liquid. This will make it easier for you to know when you have consumed the recommended amount of water. Another strategy to lift your energy levels is to take a nap when you notice your performance dipping. If you work a traditional 9 to 5 schedule, this could be challenging to do. If it will not cause you a problem, you could shut your office door, turn off the lights, and either rest at your desk or lay on the floor behind your desk. If you do not have your own office, try closing your eyes and resting in the break room or in your car during your lunch hour. You could set the alarm on your phone and relax. A 20 to 30-minute nap could rejuvenate your body and mind. What might also help you to feel fresher is to wake up at the same time each day. In addition, starting your day earlier than you are used to might help you get tasks done sooner and or get more done. Wearing brighter colors and or clothes you like could help your mood and energy level. Since clothes can affect or match your mood, brighter colors may help you to have and maintain a positive attitude. I have two last tips that are related to health. First, if you are a smoker, then do all you can to quit, as this can dramatically boost your energy and reduce your risk of developing a chronic disease. Secondly, eat healthy snacks. For example, raw nuts and seeds, low sugar fruit, between meals, so you maintain consistent blood sugar levels. And if you eat large portions of food, decrease the portion size a little bit so it will be less taxing on your digestive system and ensure your diet is balanced. When you do not eat enough, it is easy to become grumpy, and when you eat a large meal, your body will use a lot of energy to digest your food. Believe in yourself. So many people either approach a situation assuming they are not good enough or they depend on the beliefs that others have about them. Believing in yourself and not allowing others' opinions to take the place of what you think about yourself will give you the best chance of being happy and having peace of mind. Although you may find it difficult, it is important to believe in yourself. There are strategies that can make it easier for you to do this. The first one to help you enhance the belief in yourself is to identify and give yourself credit for your present and past accomplishments. Acknowledging your success will help you to recognize your capabilities and self-worth. Defining what success means to you will contribute to your ability to acknowledge and to recognize your capabilities and self-worth by making them more obvious to you. For example, if you recently have had your longest period of abstinence, if you have said no to someone who offered you the opportunity to use, or if you got a compliment at work, you would be able to see that you are capable of accomplishing goals you set and you are appreciated for you. Your ability to believe in yourself will increase as you pay more attention to your accomplishments, affirmative thoughts, compliments you receive, and put less focus on counterproductive thoughts. Another strategy you can use is to identify and acknowledge your abilities because those skills translate into what you provide to others. For instance, if you have a self-help meeting approaching during which you're going to speak, you may tell yourself that past speakers are better than you. By being confident in your speaking ability and not comparing yourself to others, what you say will have a better chance of being well received because your counterproductive thoughts will not interfere with your message. You do have abilities. You need to condition your mind to have affirmative thoughts so you can share those gifts with others. Do you think you would have agreed to speak at the meeting if you truly thought you did not have anything to say that might help someone? I doubt it. I think that you do have reasons to believe in yourself, and you need to remember them as often as possible. If you ever find yourself struggling to believe in yourself, seek the support of a sponsor, therapist, or qualified life coach. They are trained to identify strengths in people and to help them acknowledge those strengths. They will stay with you every step of the way, providing support and guidance. They will find ways to remind you of past successes and help you focus on your immediate goals. They will explain why they believe in you, and that can help you to believe in yourself more and more over time. Worry less. It is not unusual to worry from time to time, but worrying nonstop will eventually affect your health. Worrying will also contribute to you having counterproductive thoughts, physical symptoms, and you probably will not benefit very much. It could also end up being a waste of your time and energy. Worrying is being extremely apprehensive about what is going to happen in the future or about a present problem. Constant overthinking can result in your feeling like you are in control, but your mind will only create more problems that are not there. Worrying will only lead to more worrying because you can always find worst case scenarios that could potentially happen even though they may never occur. I am not saying to stop worrying completely, because sometimes it can be helpful. However, it is vital to distinguish normal worrying from excessive worrying. For instance, worrying about getting your step work done for an upcoming meeting with your sponsor is understandable, because you may want him or her to know you want to be as successful as possible with your recovery. However, frequently looking at the clock and or speaking with people regarding your concern instead of using that time to do your step work would only delay you completing it on time. Worrying less can be challenging at times, although worrying is a natural reaction to being overly stressed, and the more you try not to think about it, the more you worry. Counterproductive thinking tends to increase when we imagine the worst case scenarios and second guess ourselves. Although managing counterproductive thoughts can be quite challenging at times, you can learn how to do it. It is helpful to remember that trying to stop the worrying cycle generally does not work. Instead, you could give yourself a certain amount of time to worry. When you permit yourself to worry for a specific amount of time without trying to suppress your counterproductive thoughts, it will be easier for you to let go of the worry and identify strategies to manage the situation. Just make sure the amount of time you select is not too long. 30 minutes should be sufficient. It is not uncommon for thoughts to become clouded and fuzzy during excessive worry. A way to combat that is to write your worries down. When you have put your fears down on a piece of paper, you will be able to realize better how out of proportion they may have become. If you need to address any severe problems, this will help you manage with them logically rather than overthinking and making things worse, because it will help you to focus. Another idea that can help you is to accept your situation for the moment by letting go of your counterproductive thoughts. Allow yourself to recognize that endless worrying will not change the outcome, and that there is no real benefit to worrying and working yourself up for no reason. Do your best to limit your worries and take that time to see that the outcomes you imagined have not occurred. Counterproductive thoughts do not automatically predict the future. Conquer your fears. An effective way for you to build and enhance your affirmative attitude is to face and conquer your fears. Everyone has fears, but your fears do not have to control you. The first step towards conquering your fears is to acknowledge them. It does not make sense to deny them or to let your ego get in the way of admitting you are honestly scared of something. Doing that will prevent you from overcoming them, because you will not be able to see or believe that there is a problem to solve. Acknowledging and understanding your anxiety can make it easier for you to develop a strategy to conquer it. It is necessary for you to address it directly. That may trigger some initial anxiety, but that is not anything to worry about. Facing and overcoming anxiety will give you the confidence and skill to manage it effectively whenever else it might occur. Consider the fear of failure to help you more clearly understand the strategy. If you never take risks and challenge yourself to progress due to the fear of failure, there is little potential for you to accomplish your goals. If you face the fear and do all you can to overcome it, the outcome may surprise you. You could find that nothing bad happened and you were able to accomplish your goal by getting past your fear. You might also achieve much more than you had ever thought was possible. To fully conquer certain fears, you may have to face them more than one time. As you repeatedly face your fears, you will be able to manage your anxiety and overcome your fears. When you are conquering your fears, there are ways to improve your chances of success. Expert studies have reported that affirmative visualization techniques help to improve performance. Consistently imagining the situation going well before facing the fear will help you overcome it because of your affirmative mindset. Since there is always the possibility of the situation not going as planned, you also need to concentrate on conditioning your mind to cope with anything unexpected that may occur. If you approach the situation with an affirmative mindset and acknowledge that you may experience counterproductive emotions, you will have an improved chance of conquering your fears quickly. And to further enhance your chances of success, use stress management skills. For example, deep breathing, meditation, and physical exercises. Overcome counterproductive attitudes in others. Throughout this program, I have mentioned that your attitude not only affects you, but also affects those around you, and that works both ways. If your peer group is composed of counterproductive individuals who do nothing more than constantly paint life from within a pessimistic life or light, chances are that will affect your attitude. Being human, you and I are influenced all the time by things that are going on around us. However, you and I do not have to accept anyone or anything that will interfere with our attitude, thinking, or goals. Since you and I do not live in a perfect world, it is not possible for us to avoid those people or situations. Those are the times when it is necessary to overcome the counterproductive thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors of others. A way to do this is to remember to respond and not react. When someone reacts, he or she lets their emotions take over, and this can lead to speaking without thinking. The trouble with reacting is that time is not taken to consider the consequences of our actions, so the situation tends to get worse. When someone responds, he or she gives themselves time to think, remain calm, and assess what will happen. This makes it more possible to discuss the facts and prevent emotions from taking over. Instead of focusing on all the emotions and allowing them to overly influence our thoughts and attitudes, it becomes easier to focus on the details of the situation and to manage our emotions. For instance, if a peer is telling you that your relapse prevention plan will never work, your gut might tell you to shout, scream, or give them a piece of your mind. But that will not accomplish anything productive. It will make more sense for you to listen to what they say and then explain how you think your plan could work. Despite other people having counterproductive thoughts, you now have the increased ability and strategies you need to manage the situation. If people are not willing to hear or to discuss your ideas or suggestions, you can now choose to respond rather than react. You now have completed reading the 7-step guide that can help you maintain your recovery and have the quality of life you deserve. It's also possible that you have listened to the video. As you continue to put the 7 steps into action and maintain an affirmative attitude, your life will improve, and what may have seemed impossible to achieve at one time will not remain that way. Things will change if you have a deep desire to change them, and if you are willing to do everything you can to use the preceding information. These 7 steps can work wonders for you if you commit to them and implement them as consistently as possible. I hope you have enjoyed this program and that you gain something from it. You now know how destructive a counterproductive attitude can be in your life and on your performance. No one benefits from counterproductive attitudes, and they can present themselves in many different ways and forms. That is why it's important for you to remain vigilant and pay attention to your emotions and thoughts. By doing this, you will be helping to prevent counterproductive feelings and thoughts from becoming a counterproductive attitude. Having an affirmative attitude has the power to help you maintain your recovery in the most positive ways possible. An affirmative attitude will also help you form the best relationships, perform highly in your job, and achieve peace of mind and happiness in all areas of your life. The effort you put into developing and or maintaining an affirmative attitude will be well worth it. Whether you currently have a counterproductive attitude that you desperately want to change, or if it is a neutral one you want to improve, the 7 steps that you have learned will help you accomplish your desired goal. As you master the 7 steps, it would be a good idea for you not to compare yourself to others. Judging yourself against others can lead to you having counterproductive thoughts and interfere with your ability to maintain an affirmative attitude. Concentrate on yourself and your intentions. Although it may take some time for you to master the 7 steps, your consistency and urge to grow as an individual will give you the results you are seeking. This program is your reference tool. Use it if you ever feel challenged, need motivation, and to guide you when you need it. I believe in your ability to master these 7 steps, maintain a successful recovery, and have the life you deserve.